Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now May 10th of 2022, and we're only getting closer to the official release of the Obi-Wan Kenobi TV series by Disney and Lucasfilm, and exactly also what Deborah Chow has been saying has really been exciting a lot of Star Wars fans out there. I mean, let's be honest, there's a lot of things happening with the Kenobi TV show that's going to take fans by surprise when it comes down to all of the new cameos that are going to appear, all of the new revelations that are going to come to light in the Kenobi TV show. I mean, there's a lot that this series has coming for it, and a lot of fans are just really on edge about that. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way, guys, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you also very much for the kind support. That is greatly appreciated. Now, one thing about all of this, alright, one thing that we do know about the Kenobi TV series is that it is going to spawn a series of spin-off TV shows just as The Mandalorian did. That's their overall end game, is that they want to create multiple foundations that's going to spawn multiple spin-off shows. That's basically Lucasfilm's structure of how the new Star Wars universe is going to operate. So The Mandalorian basically spawned the Book of Boba Fett, the AHSOKA TANO TV series, the Bo-Katan TV show that's currently in the works, just as an example there, and other shows as well that will be further announced at this year's and next year's Star Wars Celebration event. The Kenobi series is going to do the same exact thing with Star Wars Underworld and everything related to shows that will take place in between Episode 3 and 4. Now, on top of all of this, what's even all the more exciting has a lot to do with what's going on with Lucasfilm as a company and exactly what Disney CEO Bob Chapek is doing about all of this. We already know that Bob Chapek is desperately trying to leave behind a positive, sense of his, of his goals that he accomplished and stuff around those lines to really further enhance his legacy. Now, with the AHSOKA series now filming and being created by both Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, Disney and Lucasfilm are actively working on numerous projects at the same exact time for the fans. Now, it's described, however, that behind the scenes, Disney CEO Bob Chapek is currently in the process of planning out everything for the new Lucasfilm president and his strategy to firing Kathleen Kennedy and replacing her with somebody else. One of the main plans by Bob Chapek right now is to let go of Kathleen Kennedy by later this year, that will go into full effect by early 2023. The first phase of this strategy is to have George Lucas step in temporarily as the president of Lucasfilm to recognize the company and to take control of what new creatives will be coming on board of the company to handle future Star Wars projects. Now, this is described to be a temporary part and solution for Lucasfilm, where it will eventually fall into the hands of the permanent choice by Bob Chapek, which has already been offered to both Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau, plus 2 other candidates as well. Now, originally Kevin Feige, much of course, was offered this exact role, who's a big-time producer as well and associated with the MCU. He too was offered the role to take over Lucasfilm and eventually declined this big offer. Bob Chapek is desperately trying to have and get a new Lucasfilm president in an attempt to enhance his legacy as the Disney CEO, as he too plans to leave by the middle of 2024, making his time at Disney far shorter than Bob Iger's. Now, let me just stop right there for 1 second. Now, the thing about Bob Iger is that he really did not run things well at all. Say what you will about The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, and The Rise of Skywalker. Some people like them, some people don't. But the way I view the sequel trilogy is that it's only fun to watch in bits and pieces. It has its moments. In The Force Awakens, you had Luke Skywalker's big-time cameo, or big-time, cliffhanger event. And that was pretty much the big highlight of that movie, and other aspects like the battle between Finn and Kylo Ren. I mean, each and every sequel movie has a key moment that's actually enjoyable, even The Last Jedi's, to a degree, in The Last Jedi's, I thought Luke Skywalker, reuniting with R2 was a good moment. That was probably the only moment that I really enjoyed. But beyond all of that, Bob Iger ran things terribly, and Bob Chapek has been leaving everything up to Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni and really letting them do their thing. I mean, he is the one that's letting them do their thing and coming up with all these new Star Wars TV shows and suggesting what's to be made and what's not to be made, what's too much or too little. I gotta give you, a lot of credit to, Peyton Reed. I mean, Peyton Reed, the director of The Mandalorian Season 2 finale, who, by the way, is going to be involved to a degree on the AHSOKA TANO TV show as a director, so I do suggest that you guys keep your eyes open on Peyton Reed's work and kind of dive into what he has done in the past, because he does an excellent job on a lot of things out there. So beyond all of this, alright, moving on. Alright, Bob Chapek, alright, is said to have a strong negative thought about how Kathleen Kennedy ran Lucasfilm and treated Star Wars, and believes that things need to seriously change and quickly in order to bring things back to the way Lucas handled Star Wars. Already right now, it is set in stone that Chapek has all eyes on firing Kathleen Kennedy by the end of 22, that will be put into full effect by next year, which will then only make the development and marketing of Star Wars TV shows and films more effective with somebody passionate on board. As for the two other candidates that are being looked at to step in as president, they are said to be big-time Hollywood producers that are both big Star Wars fans that actually love what Jon and Dave are doing with the Star Wars universe and plan to do the same, if not better. As of now, Bob Chapek has been talking to those two candidates extensively, as well in case Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau decline this big offer, which they have until the fall to accept or decline the offer to take over Lucasfilm. Jon and Dave have already been given big promotions that gives them, of course, a lot of creative power in their eyes that is more than enough to have fun and a fun time creating Star Wars stories and having a form of authority, creatively speaking, to run things properly. Now, let's just be realistic about all of this, okay? I don't think that Jon Favreau and or Dave Filoni in the long run, at the very end of all of this, is going to end up being the president of Lucasfilm. I'm not quite sure about that. I mean, anything's possible, but if I were Dave Filoni or if I were Jon Favreau, I don't know if I would want to give up my creative power or my creative-driven job. I don't think I would want to do that. You can see how much fun they're having. You can see how much, goals are being made possible by them, and how bringing fans a lot of joy makes them very much happy and fills their soul. They like that. They like that feeling. And if they were to become, or one of them were to become, the Lucasfilm president, they would have to really dedicate more time to the marketing side of things, to the business side of things, and kind of just handling things on the business end for the majority, right? So that's the big, issue here. That's the big wall that Bob Chapek is kind of running into. Are the other two candidates, which are currently unnamed, good enough to handle Star Wars? I honestly, even though we don't know who they are just yet, I think that regardless, anybody's better than Kathleen Kennedy. Let's be honest about that. And given that these two unnamed candidates are going to be, Star Wars, driven, and they are hardcore Star Wars fans, and they love what Jon and Dave are doing, that's a good sign. You can tell that Bob Chapek is being very careful with who he's actually choosing when it comes to candidates to take over as president of Lucasfilm. So overall, at the end of the day, I think that we're seeing a light at the end of the tunnel. The Book of Boba Fett was nothing more than a minor speed bump in my opinion. I think that the Kenobi TV series has a real opportunity here, a real shot to prove to fans that things can be done correctly. So overall, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know about all this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.